This the AMG way, we don't follow the crowd. Quiet money moves, we just say it out loud. Tax-free living, long plays over hype. Build it right once, let the legacy right. We talk ownership.
Happy Cinco de Mayo from the AMG Podcast. You know, I forgot it was a Cinco de Mayo until just now. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the AMG Pod. We're glad to have you all with us today. Hey, if you're new to us, if you've been watching us a little bit, make sure you like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Stay tuned, stay connected, ask us questions, plug in, and all that fun stuff. But today, I guarantee you all will be participating in that little chat thing there, asking questions, and probably looking for my man we're talking to today. Today, Larry and I have the pleasure of visiting with brother Chris Linsell from Michigan. He's a fellow Michigander, which is we'll get into the little quirky details we found out last time we were here, Chris. but welcome, my friend. How are you, man?
Mondo, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here. Spring has arrived. A couple months behind everybody else, but you know what? I'm here for it. It's a good day to be alive in this great state of Michigan, and it's a great day to be talking to you guys. Excited to dig in here.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. That's good. So you're up in Traverse City.
You got it, Traverse City. It's the pinky fingernail of the tried and true map of your hand of Michigan. So if you hold your hand up, pinky fingernail, that's my house. That's looking right out over Lake Michigan, beautiful Traverse City, Michigan.
It's funny because I'm from the what is this called, Chris? Larry?
That's the palm.
Called? The palm, but this little thumb meat right there. What is that called?
Thumb meat. All right, thumb meat.
That's where I'm from, right? That's pocket. That's awesome. I never heard it described as the pinky nail. That's okay. I love that, man. Yeah. I love it. Mm-hmm. Good stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, let's dig in, man. We'll find out more about you, what's happening, all that stuff. Tell us kind of a little bit about what you do, though, like for a living, and then Larry's going to dig into some questions.
Yeah, you bet. So I am privileged, honored to have the opportunity to serve as the chief marketing officer of an indie real estate brokerage called the Mitten Group. We, like I said, based here in beautiful Traverse City, Michigan. We are a group that believes that better real estate starts with better real estate agents. And so our job here is to create the circumstances, to create the garden bed that the most incredible real estate businesses in the world can grow from. And I do that by leading our brand and marketing efforts, both for the brokerage as well as developing the systems that our agents use to build the businesses of their dreams.
I love the word systems. It's one of my favorite words in business. Systems. That's everything, man. And you've been in the game how long now?
Well, let's see here. I think I started in the real estate game as an unlicensed part-time marketing assistant, probably, let's see here, 16, almost 17 years ago now. So it's been a minute since I got here, and I've had every job from unlicensed part-time marketing assistant to licensed agent to team member to co-team leader, and then some other jobs surrounding real estate, and now I'm back in leadership at a brokerage. So I've done it all. I've closed every deal, knocked every door, stepped in every shoes, and I tell you, there's no better industry to be in than real estate as far as I'm concerned.
Man, how you started is literally what they call sticking your pinky toe in. Like that
That's
first
it.
title you gave, I was part-time. My man was testing the waters for sure. Last question for me real quick before Larry jumps in. What's a typical day look like for you? Because when I hear what you do, I'm like, whoo, man, that's brother, that's a lot. Like, what do you do every day? What's that look like daily?
Well, it's funny too, because I have other things that I work on too. Maybe we can talk about as well, including leadership and thought leadership and kind of analysis and commentary on our industry that I do outside of the brokerage as well. But, when it comes to a typical brokerage day, my day starts pretty early. I'm an early riser. So I get up early before everyone else in my house. I spend a little quiet time reading and learning. First hour of my day is always reading and learning. And then I dive into anything that happened after I logged off the night before. I'm a big believer in balance. I don't think that everybody's work-life balance is the same, but I know for me, I close my laptop at a certain time every night. I want to be present with my wife and with my kids, and but I know real estate is a business that doesn't necessarily stop at 6 or 5:30 or whenever it is that you're logging off for the day, because our clients don't stop then. Our clients are thinking about their purchase or their sale. And so our agents are working during that time too. So I tell agents in our team here, there is no bad time to reach out to me. You just won't always get a response at 10 o'clock at night from me. So after I spent a little time learning and reading, I dive into what was happening the day before, and I set my day up, do a little quiet time, heads down work when the kids get up, take care of business there, have some family time, and then into the office. I run a pretty solid routine. First hour of the day is my daily launch. I'm checking our performance. I'm checking our performance numbers. I'm checking on campaigns that are running, checking in with the people whose work I am committed to making better every single day. I'm connecting with agents, just the walk around, basically.
Okay.
And then,
sure. Yeah.
And then it's 3 hours of heads down project time to get big things done. And then the afternoon, who knows? It could be meetings. It could be one-off tasks. It could be enabling the success of agents or other staff that we have here. But, bottom line, in any kind of business, real estate especially, though, you have to save time for 3 scopes of work. The big scope stuff that you can anticipate. These are the big projects that you can't finish in one day. The small scope, the stuff you can finish in one day, and then the stuff that's not on your scope that someone's going to walk in your door with to ask for help on or to enable their success on. So those are my 3 categories. If I can get big scope, little scope, and not on the scope done, it was a good day.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
That's awesome. Sounds like you got it dialed in right now for sure.
Well, I'm a learner. No system's perfect. Every day we're learning, man.
Yeah.
All right. So on the topic of learning, what major shifts are you seeing in the industry right now from a marketing standpoint?
Oh, man. Well, there's a couple of things that I think are pretty important, and I'm going to go, guys, I'm just going to kick it off with a kind of a provocative hot button one.
Oh, let's go.
All of the all the hate coming my way right off the jump here.
Let's go. Okay.
Hard in the paint.
We're seeing that's right, going hard in the paint here. I'm seeing a pretty dramatic shift, both in terms of agent attitude and not just attitude, but follow through when it comes to traditionally paid lead generation sources like third-party platforms like Zillow or even Realtor.com or Homes.com. The attitude around payment towards these platforms is really, it's sand shifting under our feet very quickly right now. And honestly, the proof is in the pudding, because the cost for leads from these platforms seems to be going up, certainly faster than inflation. The value of these leads has really become less sustainable and less reliable in terms of understanding what the day-to-day return on that investment is going to be. And truthfully, the relationship that most agents have with these platforms doesn't seem to be improving with the extended cost of these platforms. So to that end, we got a lot of agents who are out there looking for where they can put their marketing dollars, energy, and time. And we're seeing a significant shift at the Mitten Group towards content as lead generation. We are asking our agents to think, if you're going to invest your time, energy, and money in lead generation, if you want to do that in Zillow, that's an option, but consider investing that same amount of time, energy, and money in creating content to build your audience, and see how the return works for that. And frankly, it's just, for agents who really take it seriously, it's really no contest at this point. There is a community that gets built very quickly around agents who can utilize content as a lead generation source rather than relying on third-party platforms whose value proposition seems to be slipping.
Got it. Okay. So from a marketing standpoint, for the business, that's part of your growth strategy.
Big time. In fact, I would say that content as lead generation is a pillar for us. If we are not leaning on our ability to tell the right story to the right people at the right time, then we're not doing our job as leaders, but also we're not enabling the agents who depend on us to build businesses. We're turning them into employees. And frankly, this is something that I feel really strongly about. I get a little hot under the collar about even.
Let's go.
Real estate is not, at least historically, it's not an employee business. I don't hire somebody and pay them $75,000 a year to just clock in at 9 and clock out at 5 and have zero connection to the success of the business.
Yeah.
There are businesses that run that way. And you know what? If that's your model, no hate from me.
Right. Sure.
But that isn't the traditional model. And frankly, that is not a path to building a business. That's a path to building dependency on someone else. And we don't want that. We don't want that.
Somebody going hard in the paint.
Listen. The reality is real estate is a business where your success depends on your ability to work hard, be smart, and apply your resources appropriately. If you can do those things, work hard, be smart, apply your resources appropriately, you will win. And there is no ceiling to how much you can win. You can leverage any one of those three or a combination or all of them and realize unlimited potential. You cannot realize unlimited potential if your day-to-day requires you to just punch a time clock, make your 50 calls, go home at the end of the night, and have no connection to the success of the business. That's just not what we're doing here, and I don't think that's what most agents want.
Man, you get after it. I can tell. You know, I've been, dude. We need some applause for that because our goal of this podcast is to get Chris sweating.
Bring it on, baby. Bring it on. This is what I do. I mean, I get hot on this stuff often because there are so many real estate agents who walk. I don't want to say necessarily into my office because the agents that are in this office now, it's like a broken record at this point. If they don't know it, then they haven't been listening, and that's a problem. But I feel like most agents walk around, those who haven't broken through to realize that they are in control of their own destiny. Most of those agents are walking around disenfranchised, wondering why it is that they are running subsistence businesses. Subsistence businesses are a product of agents recognizing that they are in control of, your word earlier, Mondo, they're in control of the systems that grow their business. Like we call at the Mitten Group, we call these systems brand mechanics. These are the machines that you use to operate your business. And if you think that somebody else is in charge of your machines, then you are running a subsistence, your nose barely above the surface of the water business. Once you take control, be in charge of your own brand mechanics, I mean, honestly, the sky's the limit.
So I don't need to ask you my next question because you already answered it very clearly. My question was, you don't need to answer it because you did. It was, so what's frustrating you right now in the business? You addressed that. And would you say, I heard like complacency or maybe even a lack of want to, right? Effort, or even just maybe. Okay, let me be a little nicer. The willingness to learn and get uncomfortable with something that's new, new systems, new strategies, new branding strategies, just to get in that. Well, I like talking to people, Chris. I'm a little introverted. The camera thing or the podcast stuff. I don't know. Can I just do the one-on-ones? It's like, wait a minute. And Chris is hot under the collar, like, no, you cannot. You got to grow.
Well, the funny thing is, and I tell this to Mitten Group agents all the time, is nobody's business, the machine that builds your business, everybody's machine is a little bit different. And that's important. In fact, that's necessary. I break brand mechanics up into two categories. The first is your universal brand mechanics. These are the things that every business needs, at least right now, to be successful. These are things like a website is a great example of this. You need some place on the internet where someone can verify that you are a legitimate operator. This used to be like the Yellow Pages. Like if you didn't have your name listed in the phone book or in the Yellow Pages, then we couldn't count on you as being a legitimate operator of a business. We don't have that any longer, obviously. But your website has essentially become that. This is verification that you are who you say you are. So there's one category that is your universal brand mechanics. Every business needs these things. Your opt-in brand mechanics are the ones that are tailored to your strengths as a business owner and an operator. Like for instance, I don't know if you could tell this about me, but I like doing stuff on camera. I like talking to people. I like putting the heat down and motivating people to take some action. This is one of the tables that I eat at. This is not everybody's cup of tea. So this doesn't have to be necessarily a brand mechanic that runs your business. But if you don't have gears that fit together, that grow your business at the pace that matches your goals, then you're not actually operating a business. You're just kind of subsisting. So the goal is to find brand mechanics that work with what your strengths are that will lead to the outcomes that you have. So everybody's business is a little bit different, but if you're not putting the gears together, you're not actually running this. You're just subsisting. That's just not going to work.
That is gold. I'm trying to hold myself back. Woods probably already knows. I'm over here like jumping. Like this is good, man.
Release it, Mondo. Release it.
I know, right? I know. So what metrics are you using in order to track your improvement, right? Like so you've got the systems, you got brand mechanics. But what type of metrics that are you using? Maybe even other, brokerages or agencies, agents that can possibly glean off of you and say, "Oh, I never thought about using that metric." Yeah, what are you using, man?
Sure. So there's a couple of different ways to think about performance metrics, and before I give you my piece on this, I'll just give you a quick background. Before I joined the Mitten Group as our marketing leader, I was the director of content at a real estate technology company called Luxury Presence. And at Luxury Presence, we were, they still are, a technology platform that powers the marketing efforts of many, many real estate businesses. I mean, I think there's something like 75 or 80,000 agents on the platform at this point.
Ooh, wow.
And I can tell you with specific experience, both running the content team at Luxury Presence, as well as observing the operating systems of many of the successful agents at Luxury Presence, as well as my experience here at the Mitten Group, that the measures for success really fall into two categories: your input and your output. Your input is what you're putting into the system. So if you're thinking like social media, it's like how many posts am I making? How many carousels did I create this week? How many stories did I post, et cetera, et cetera. And then your output metrics are the things that are the result of those inputs. So for social media, it is stuff like the impressions that you get, or your followers, or your likes, or your comments. And each of these categories is important because at the early stage of a marketing effort, your output isn't actually a great measure of the value that you're providing, because input is really important at the early stages. Things start slowly when you are marketing. When you're beginning something, things start slowly. They require some consistent effort and energy in order to build some momentum. So depending on where my agents are in the life cycle of their brand mechanics and of their marketing development, sometimes we measure input. As we get into the middle of these efforts lives, we're measuring both input and output. And then by the time things mature efforts that are functioning and running, then we measure output and ultimately what that output leads to, which is like legitimate clients or closings. So it's honestly, it almost feels performative to nail it down to one or two numbers. You really have to think about what stage is your business in, what stage is your marketing or brand effort in, and what's important. Is input important? Is both input and output important? Or are we at the stage now where if it's not producing output for you, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if you're not getting what you want from it, and it's not always closings, of course, closings, dollars on the commission checks, these are important things, but maybe the output is I'm trying to get people to subscribe to a newsletter, which ultimately then turns around and is its own output. So, you just have to understand what your inputs and outputs are. But depending on where you're at in that life cycle of development, that's how we think about results.
Okay. So when we talk about results, let's talk about future goals. Talk about future goals. Where do you want to be in 6 to 12 months from now? Whether it's professionally, or if you want to be a little transparent about yourself personally as well.
Ooh, here we go.
I love it.
Yeah, here we go.
Here we go. Professionally, this one's pretty straightforward for me, honestly. I want the Mitten Group to be the number one office in our entire market. Fun fact, we were the number one office for listing properties in the month of April 2026. Feel pretty good about that. It's really psyched for my agents. Thank you. Agents, when you listen to this is all on you. You guys worked your rear ends off. I'm really, really grateful for the good work there. But yeah, I want us to be consistently the number one office for both listing and sales in our entire market. Personally, I want to continue to grow my professional footprint and my ability to put value in front of members of our profession. I like to speak and to generate opportunities for conversation. Next week, for instance, I'm heading off to California to do the first in a set of 3 speaking appearances for the California Association of Realtors, focused on AI. I'll be on the campus of UCLA next Wednesday. If anybody's there in California, come see me. This is going to be a great event. I want to keep doing that stuff. More opportunities to create value and conversation for more members of our industry. This is what I'm here for. I have no higher calling than to create more opportunities and value for members of our industry. So that's what we're doing.
I love it.
That's fantastic, man.
Thanks. Yeah.
I mean, because adding value, it's such a mature, responsible, wise approach versus, we've all heard, well, what's your goals in the next 6, 12 months? Well, I'm trying to get this. I'm trying to get that. I'm trying to get. And you're like, no, I'm trying to give.
Yeah.
Value. That, dude, that's so awesome, man. More people need to really sit on what you just said.
Well, it's funny too, because I certainly remember a stage in my career, and I want to be totally clear. I am far from perfect on this sort of thing, but I definitely remember a stage in my career where my goals were all about what was coming to me. And ultimately, those times in my career, I think that the reason those goals were set the way they were is because I had yet to achieve a critical mass of value that I could give to other people. I was still acquiring what I understood to be value and purpose and understanding for not just what's next for me, but what I think is next for the communities that are important to me. And once I hit that level of understanding, of realizing that I feel like I have now an understanding that would be valuable to other members of my communities. Now I'm at a stage in my career where I want to share that value and understanding such that the people who listen to that or consume that understanding, they can learn the easy way. It's always you can avoid mistakes by learning from other people who have made them before you. And if I have an opportunity to give people a chance to learn the easy way rather than the hard way, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm doing at the Mitten Group. That's what I do every time I step on stage. That's what I do every time I pen some sort of op-ed or connect with Inman to create content around a particular subject. That's what I want to do, is I want to give people an opportunity to learn the easy way and hopefully to think about things in a way that will give them the tools that they need to build the business that they want.
That's awesome, man. I love your heart, brother. Go ahead, Larry. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So if you could solve one major challenge today, what would it be?
That's a great question, Larry. What would I solve? You know what? So I apologize to all the managing brokers out there. I'm about to give you guys a whole bunch of homework. Real estate needs an official prescribed apprentice program. Anybody who joins the real estate industry with a license, with the expectation that they're going to be an agent for purchase or sale of real estate, needs to go through a 12-month apprenticeship such that they cannot proffer a transaction independently without certifying as an apprentice for 12 months with a minimum of 10 transactions. And I know that that's going to be a hell of a lot of work for a heck of a lot of people. But the reality is the barrier to entry into this business is extremely low, and the barrier to success is extremely high. And the vulnerability to mistakes, there is a lot of weight there. We're talking about the most important financial transaction, the most important financial moment of our clients' lives. And in the state of Michigan, to get a real estate license, you need one 40-hour class that you can do online and a single test. So I could be bartending for you on Memorial Day weekend, and then I could be showing you houses on the 4th of July, and that would be like a totally acceptable timeline. And there is nothing that stands between the guy who knows how to make your Tom Collins and screwing up the purchase of the most important family asset that you could ever own. There seems like no industry that is more appropriate than to have an apprenticeship, a required 12-month apprenticeship. So if someone gave me the magic wand, that's where I would wave it right now.
That's interesting, man, because in a lot of other industries, of course, like the military, you just don't see, you come in boot camp or you graduate from boot camp or you're going to the front line. You're like, wait, hold on a second. No one walked me through this process.
Totally.
As a former realtor for almost 6 years, what you just said can't be said loud enough. Most brokers take that 40-hour course and that test as training and send you out.
Yeah.
That's true.
And it's really not.
It's really not. Yeah. That's so good, man.
Oh my God.
That's so good.
The reality
that
on
repeat.
Please do. Clip it. Get it up online.
Yeah, we're going to clip that for sure.
The reality is most people get into real estate because of two things. One, they're interested in the perceived independence and self-determination that the industry offers. Whether or not the independence part of that is true, I mean, I know a lot of agents who got into this to work less, and they're working at 7:00 on a Saturday night. So take that what you will. But most agents get into this for two reasons. One, that perceived set of independence, and two, their ability to easily connect with other people. They are good at relationships, whether that is relationships started online or started in person, or they're good at connecting with people. This is a relationship business, and so we attract a lot of relationship people here. But what you'll notice that I didn't say in there, those two things, one of them that I said is not like, oh, I got into this because I'm really good at business and understanding contracts, or I'm really good at self-marketing, or I'm really good at running, understanding what my profit and loss is, because this is an independent contractor, small business or industry here. We don't attract people who are good at the fundamentals. We attract people who are good at the intangibles, and the intangibles do not pay your taxes at the end of the year. Your intangibles don't know how to structure the appropriate contract addendum for a complicated inspection and appraisal window. These are things that a licensed, seasoned professional as somebody you would apprentice under needs to instruct you on. And until we fix that, agents are going to continue to struggle. The industry will continue to struggle in the, professionals' infancy, because we really don't have a system in place to help these folks learn the easy way. They're just learning all the hard ways.
So is it fair to say, Chris, that, these intangibles, right? And I made all kind of the stinky face because it was like, man, that if I'm in the business, that hurts is true, but it hurts.
It's true. Yeah.
But is that also true for not just functioning in the business currently, but also preparing for later in life, right? Like if you're 30s, 40s, even 50s, and you're in the real estate game, you don't have the 401k that you had at the old job that laid you off. You don't have those types of things. So if those intangibles, like even just knowing how to prepare for tax season, knowing how to prepare for the things like you just mentioned that are current. Well, if you don't know that part, what about when it's time to sit down somewhere when you're old?
It's true.
So how are you preparing for that? Speak to that if you don't mind. Like what for you? Let's start like this. Let's see. I want to hear two parts. What do you see in the industry in regards to people preparing for the future? But also maybe even give some insight to people who are listening, like maybe some things you've done, tried, whatever. Yeah. Speak to that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, truth be told, I'm really lucky in that I have a personal interest. I find it interesting and in a very I don't want to call it nerdy, but in a very intellectual way, I am personally interested and I get satisfaction from the planning process of that sort of thing. Yeah. So, and I am really fortunate to have a partner and my wife that we are very aligned on how we want to continue to ensure that we have the life that we want all through our entire life and for our kids.
Yes, sir.
So those are what I feel like cheat codes that not everybody gets access to, and I'm really grateful for. Sure. To that end, though, I know for me, without a doubt, I did not save the appropriate amount out of my commissions to pay taxes the first couple of years that I was in real estate. And I got myself into a couple of sticky situations because I owe the IRS more than I expected because I didn't even, not only did I not think about it, I thought I knew and I didn't know. So it was like a combination of ignorance and misinformation. Yeah. I'll tell you though, the thing that changed it for me is I immediately, after I, worked out my personal beef with the IRS after that first year or whatever it was, I immediately sought out an agent in my office and I said, how do you do this? What are you doing to help me understand this? Yeah. And he was really gracious, and I took him to lunch multiple times. We talked through stuff. So that was the first thing. Is I sought out somebody who was doing it successfully, and I said, teach me. And in a strange way, I think there's other industries where this is mirrored, but in real estate, we are simultaneously each other's competitors and each other's colleagues. We have to kind of walk that knife's edge of relationship with each other, because if we don't have each other to collaborate with and coordinate with, we don't have transactions. And so likewise, you build professional relationships with each other and you want to help each other. So that's the first thing, is I sought out somebody who I knew was doing it successfully, and I said, help me understand what you're doing so that I can do it. The other thing that I would say, just strictly from in this industry perspective, is I looked to build what felt like an annual, like every month I had a routine for what I was looking to do with the money that I earned, like what money was getting saved, what money was getting invested, what money was I spending to invest to grow my business via, you know, reinvestment in scaling the efforts that I had. And then, you know, what money went to, you know, paying the mortgage, paying the light bill, taking the kids to the water park, that sort of thing. And that system of mine developed over time. Like I am on, you know, the 1,000th iteration now of that. It just was one of those things that happens, you know, kind of by trial and error. But at one point, I stopped trialing and erroring, and I sought the advice and then started a relationship with a financial advisor who ultimately said to me, like, hey, you know, you could probably, I think his exact words were, you could probably tell me the value of an extra 100 square feet in this particular neighborhood. Yeah. And I said, yeah. He goes, I have no idea about that. But what you have no idea about, and what I know a ton about, is the different ways that we can use your money to secure your future. So why don't you stick to your hard stuff and I'll stick to my hard stuff? And that made so much sense.
I love that guy. I don't even know his name. I love him.
Yeah. Well, I just stopped worrying about trying to figure out all the hard stuff myself and started realizing that what I didn't need to have a mastery of it. I just needed to have a relationship with somebody who did.
That is gold, man, because we're all about relationships. And part of my passion in asking you that question is in our field, we have a lot of entrepreneurs, real estate agents, and the like. And then exactly what you described is what we see. It's one, they might get in the pickle with the IRS, or you ask them, so what's your golden years look like? Well, that's what I'm working on it. Then you ask them again months later. Oh yeah, you know what I was thinking. It's like, no, that not the thinking is work. Like, what are you doing? Like what's and well, I love the direction. It's very simple. And I think that's where a lot of people get caught up. They think about the future and they you know, YouTube, Instagram, different things, and they're searching, but you gave them two simple things. Seek wise counsel about taxes, seek wise counsel about your future financially.
Yeah.
Real simple. But Larry, you and I talk about this a lot. I think the problem with a lot of entrepreneurs in these spaces is pride. Why don't, okay, let me ask you this. Why don't agents ask for help in those areas? Why not? Why didn't you at first?
Because I thought I knew it all. See? And you know, the funny thing is, not only did I think I knew it all, I also was only thinking about 3 feet in front of my face too, because, and this is something that I see on a regular basis with real estate professionals across the board, is that especially when you're in building mode, the most important thing is often just the closest thing. And when you have that distortion, I call this like perspective distortion. When your perspective is distorted by what is directly in front of your face, it is really difficult to understand not just the value of long-term planning, but how the value of that long-term planning will affect your short-term decision making. And if you can't zoom the lens to be able to see long, medium, and short, you have to get somebody in your life who can do that with you or for you. And you know, like I would say, like over all of my time as a working professional, I've learned many, many lessons, but probably the most valuable one is it is not a weakness to enlist the help of others. It is a strategic not only a strategic advantage, but it is just you are operating at another level when you enlist others in your plan for success, because you
are great at what they do
yourself.
You can't. I mean, oh my gosh. About it, any president of the United States has a cabinet.
Totally.
Why?
100%.
Why? Like we respect that, but we don't do it. You know what I mean?
Right. That's exactly right. Well, and the interesting thing about this, whenever, and is always, myself included, I'm certainly not immune to this. Whenever I have agents or that I'm talking to or other people in my life that are resistant to that idea, I like to remind them that, at least in the real estate space, what I like to call the sophomore slump in real estate happens when you have a really great first year. Like, let's just say you come out of the gate, you crush it your first year, and you set these big goals for your second year, and for one reason or another, you kind of hit a wall and you just can't do it. Like, maybe you grow 10%, but your goal was to grow 50%. And why is that? And often the reason why that sophomore slump happens is because agents have not set up systems or mechanics such that their business can grow beyond the hours in the day. Like, their success depends on their ability to, be in the seat. And that is a business. When your business won't scale beyond the hours in the day, then your ceiling for success is limited. And the same, it's an analogous kind of example of what we're just talking about. Like, I can't be an expert at everything. If I was an expert, if that was a requirement for success, I wouldn't be able to get the expert advice of a financial advisor or a tax planner. I wouldn't be able to get the expert advice of my doctor or my lawyer, or, you name the expert. You know what I mean? We rely on experts to give us the expert perspective on so many things. There is literally no reason why, for instance, a real estate professional shouldn't connect with an expert in something they are not an expert in order to grow, because otherwise you are capped at the number of hours in the day relative to your own success.
But yet as a realtor, you expect, the regular folks to see you as an expert.
That's true.
Come to you, and come to you for expert advice.
100%.
And you expect them to reach out and not sell the house by themselves. You know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. Like, it's crazy, man. Go ahead, Woods.
It's paradoxical for sure.
Yes.
So that's obviously a pro in the space of, securing your future or a financial vehicle. But what other pros and cons, if you can think of any, that you see in your field about retirement vehicles? Any at all?
Yeah, a lot of real estate professionals turn to real estate as an investment vehicle, in part because we're so close to the industry, and we often see opportunities kind of either through a lens that other people don't see them, or we just have a better kind of viewpoint on what the possibility of property is. One of the things that we do at the Mitten Group, for instance, our founder and CEO is named Sam Flamont. Great guy. You guys should talk to him. Honestly, he'd be a great guest here. He started the Mitten Group in part because he was a real estate investor, and agents kept coming to him saying, I want to learn how to use some of my commissions to invest in real estate. And there just wasn't a vehicle for him to effectively be able to mentor and teach without kind of starting some organization and putting some infrastructure around it. So I know a lot of real estate professionals, at least that I'm directly connected to, invest in real estate as a part of their long-term financial planning. Whether or not they're getting the most out of those investments, I think that remains to be seen for me. I mean, that to me is something like, I know I'm not enough of an expert in that space to understand whether or not they're getting A, B, C, or D grade investments. And that's where I lean on people who know more than me about this sort of thing.
Gotcha. Sure. So I take so many things. I've taken so many things away from you, man. Obviously, in regards to systems, like what's my favorite word in business, I've taken away, you didn't say it this way, but you did say it in your way. There's a saying I've heard, which is, you can't expect what you don't inspect.
Love that.
Okay. And
I'm writing that one down, Mondo. Okay.
You can't expect what you don't inspect. And so, especially as an entrepreneur, as a real estate agent, you know, whatever it is you're doing, 1099. If you don't have systems in place to help you inspect the inputs, the outputs, some metrics, if you don't have that in place and you just kind of buckshot in success, quote unquote, that you can't expect what you see in your brain when you're sleeping. If you have no systems to track, you have no systems to inspect. So, and I think for a lot of individuals, and you said this in so many beautiful ways, man, you know, people don't realize what the industry they're getting into. You're an entrepreneur, you're 1099, and you're building a business. Like the job you left and the guy or gal that you worked for, and they were the owner, they were the entrepreneur of that business. Now that you're in the real estate business, you have become them.
Yeah.
So your job responsibility, your JD has changed. You're not an employee anymore. You're an employer, so to speak. You're a business owner. And everything, all the gems that you've given, man, are so valuable, not just in real estate, brother. I think anyone who wants to take the bull by the horns, they're like, okay, what do I do, Chris, Mondo, Larry, what do I do? And Chris, you've laid down some phenomenal groundwork, just like the yellow brick road. The thing is, though, people have to walk it. You just can't look at it.
Yeah, that's the truth.
You gotta walk down it. You said, what's the word you said earlier, Larry? You said effort, right?
Effort.
Effort. Then another, willing to ask questions. Seek wise counsel. And for all the biblical folks out there, that's wisdom. That's Proverbs. Seek wise counsel.
You know, it's interesting to hear you recount these things because, you know, to your point, there's some universal application to what we're describing. As I kind of reflect a little bit on this conversation as well, you know, I think about the different stages of my own career. I think about the different stages and the ways that the things that I, you know, have considered to be, you know, the goals of the different stages of my career. I think about how those things have evolved across the years that I've been doing this and how I anticipate them to continue to evolve for many years to come. And ultimately there's a through line here that that comes down to the more, you know, the more things, the more you go along, the more your goals and viewpoint changes. What doesn't change is your inputs will directly correlate with your outputs, but the more you go through this, the more those inputs will get multiplied by the people that you connect with and collaborate with. You know what I mean?
It's like a compounding effect in a way.
It absolutely is. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for that fact. Like I mean, it's funny. I've worked in very collaborative teams for pretty much my entire career, but before coming to the Mitten Group, I was fully remote. My office was in the basement of my house, and I mean, I worked, you know, with people on the computer all day, every day, but I didn't. There were certainly times where I didn't see a single person from the time that my wife left in the morning to the time that they got home in the evening, and you know, though I was collaborating directly with those folks, the opportunity that you have to multiply each other's efforts and your value by working with people, whether it's nose to nose or virtually, is a real thing. And it is it is true across everything that you do, whether it's professional or otherwise. So, you know, that's the other big thing that I'll take away from this too, is it's not just the work that you put in, it's the others that you connect with to get the most from this.
Man, we're gonna have so many hot fire viral clips from this thing.
Clip it up. That's what I want to hear.
Oh my gosh, man, this is incredible, Chris. You know, at some point I'm gonna have you back, man. Because I really want to. You know, we want to dig in. I mean, you're a solid guy, man. The fact that you're helping by sharing so much. You know, we're not in your industry, but there's so many things that are well applicable over here. Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. first of all, give us where people can find you. Give us, your handles, your YouTube, all that stuff, man. Where are you at?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm the only Chris Linsell on there. So I'd love to connect with folks on LinkedIn. It's a great spot for kind of hearing what's going on. If you want to do a little bit more, find me on Instagram. It's Ask Chris Linsell, like ASK_Chris_Linsell. Those are the two places that I'm most active. You can visit my website, which is chrislinsell.com. I do a little bit of writing here and there. And then you can, if you want to check out what the Mitten Group is up to, you can visit us at themittengroup.com. You can follow us on social, pretty easy to find. Just search us on any of the major platforms. We do a lot of fun stuff on here. And ultimately, if you follow along, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to say some stuff that's probably going to provoke you to say something back, and then we're going to get into a conversation about
my kind of dude.
At first, you're going to be annoyed, and then you're going to realize, like, oh, maybe this was a good conversation to have.
Yeah.
Like, my whole goal on these platforms is to provoke people enough that they sit forward and type, but not so much that they stand up and walk away. So come ready to talk, because what's the point in just observing? That's no fun. Come ready to participate.
Yeah, man, there ain't nothing else to say, fellas. Oh my gosh, that is it, man. Definitely reach out to Chris for sure. He's going to become a pal of ours. Definitely going to have him on again, man. Hey, safe travels out to Cali next week.
Yes,
we have a phenomenal event, man. Hey guys, if you're here at the AMG Podcast for the first time, maybe you've been following Chris, you want to hear what he's talking about, definitely like, subscribe. We have many more guests just like Chris in the real estate space and other things. Sometimes you even hear a lot of transparent talk going on, even to Chris's tone of, hey, you know what? Sometimes we're going to shake the trees a little bit, go hard. That's right. We do it all, man. We do it all. So, hey, Chris, thank you so much again, man, for being here, my friend. Hey, from Mondo, Larry Woods, and our new friend, Chris, you guys have a phenomenal day, and thank you for joining the AMG Podcast.
This the AMG way, we don't follow the crowd. Quiet money moves, we just say it out loud. Tax-free living, long plays over hype. Build it right once, let the legacy write. We talk ownership.